Every month, GameRanks sorts through all the noise in the mobile field for you and finds the games worth playing. I'm Falcon, and today on GameRanks, the 10 best new iOS and Android games of August 2017. Quick disclaimer for you, these are paid games. We do a free games list as well. Look out for that in the next couple days. Number 10 is Ray Crisis, the third in the Ray trilogy from Taito. This is kind of a classic series, and if you're interested in possibly some of the best top-down shooters that were maybe released in an era where top-down shooters were kind of ignored, Ray Crisis gives you everything you'd expect from a very nice, classic top-down shooter. It is 3D, typically gives you different angles, and it's quite frankly incredibly fun. I particularly like its 90s Gundam sort of aesthetic, which makes sense because it is a port of a 90s game. While you're looking for the nostalgia of the game itself, the genre, or just really like the genre, this is one of the prime examples of the sort of late stage of the genre. It definitely deserves your time and attention. This is a fantastic game. Number 9 is Danmaku Unlimited 3, which is a top-down shooter but far more of a bullet hell. And truly, if you're interested in a bullet hell, this is probably the way to go this month. Frankly, this game isn't just fun, it's also like an example of how bullet hell can be really pretty. The patterns and the colors and everything just comes together really well. It has sort of a neon aesthetic and it, well, also has great gameplay, so it's really tough for me to say like anything particularly critical about the game. Frankly, we've really been spoiled for choice this month. There's been a lot of very good releases. Another big highlight of this game is its absolute blood-pumping soundtrack. You will feel the adrenaline as you get into this game and start dodging and, you know, generally bullet helling out in space. Honestly, Danmaku Unlimited 3 is a game that you gotta give a shot, especially if you like bullet hell. Not only if you like bullet hell though, it is a really fun space shooter. It handles well. It's a little tough for people who may not be acquainted with what a bullet hell is, but hell, it's a lot of fun. Number 8 is Techno Babylon, an adventure game with a cyberpunk aesthetic. It's essentially a point and click, the old school type, and it's nice that it's coming to mobile because it is a fine example of such a game. This is one of those games that shows you when pixel art can be at its most beautiful. There's some things in this game that are just like, how is this pixel art? I mean, that's not to say it's perfect. It does have its moments where it drags a little bit, but this is a fantastic adventure game overall, and certainly worth your time. Number 7 is Swim Out, a very pretty and frankly nicely atmospheric turn-based puzzle game with an element of strategy that oddly enough sets itself in a swimming pool on a very nice day. I think that it's got an interesting and somewhat innovative puzzle design. I enjoy it and I like the aesthetic, the music, and if nothing else, it's a puzzle game that looks different from every other puzzle game and therefore is very refreshing. And I'm sure given it uses a pool aesthetic, it's intended to be refreshing. The way the puzzles work with waves and other obstacles like crabs and jellyfish really makes an interesting experience, and I would definitely recommend it. It's one of those games that will seemingly for no good reason put you in a good mood. Number 6 is Bottom of the Ninth, which is going to surprise you no matter what. Unless you've played the board game or perhaps seen the board game played, it's a 2-player strategic baseball game with cards and dice. It's really fun. Like, you'd be shocked at how enjoyable this game actually is. Now, the cool thing about this game is actually that there's single player against the computer. You can play online against a friend. You can find an opponent in a ranked online match. And they've even got single device multiplayer, which they refer to as pass and play. This is a fun game, even if you don't like baseball, and I'm honestly not a huge fan of baseball. But this is, for lack of a better word, a hell of a party game. Number 5 is Miracle Merchant, which is kind of a riff on Solitaire, actually. Essentially, you're the apprentice of a master alchemist. You create new potions by combining ingredient cards, and the intent is obviously to fulfill a specific need of a customer. Now, this gives you a pretty good idea of the gameplay, but not of the charm. This game is full of charm. Frankly, the art is all incredibly lovingly done. It's somewhere between Adventure Time and Adult Swim type animation style. It's actually gorgeous and very clearly lovingly crafted. Miracle Merchant is actually a free game, but it's such a good game we needed to include it on the best list. Frankly, there isn't really another game quite like this. It's innovative and it's fun as hell. Number 4 is Nexomon, which, as you might guess, is a lot like Pokemon. I mean, a lot like Pokemon, but it's done quite well. There are some various modern game trappings that are included, but in all honesty, the thing that you're looking at is a much better old school Pokemon game. And by much better, I mean specifically in visuals. When you get to a battle screen, you're gonna go, what? It is such a beautifully drawn game, and frankly, it makes me wonder what it would have been like if they had just continued making Pokemon games in that style, and that, frankly, just makes me very happy. And while it is kinda cliche towards the beginning, once you get going, it really just kind of makes you feel at home in the Nexomon world. If you're aching for some old school Pokemon type action, this is where to go. Number 3, Radiation City is a survival adventure that essentially takes you through a city, Pripyat, where people live in the wake of Chernobyl, and forces you to survive the mutants, the zombies, all in a faithfully recreated open world with frankly astounding graphics for iOS. In all honesty, this is a really good game, and playing it on survival mode is a hell of a fun time. Also, it just really gets the mood down. This is an unsettling game. It's not necessarily scary, but you never feel at home or safe or okay. It's really just a constant stream of dread, and I think that that is a wonderful aesthetic to play to. This game gets the job done. Number 2 is Egglia, The Legend of Redcap. Egglia is a strategy RPG, not too heavy, but frankly quite satisfying. It's got a very Dreamcast aesthetic to it, if you ask me, and kind of represents the type of game I'm interested in playing, at least visually speaking. I would love to see more games that look exactly like this, simple, low poly, but still detailed and with a lot of love in all the design. It's a game that depends on dice rolling, so it actually incorporates some very traditional RPG elements. It will give you a little bit of a Tactics Ogre or Fire Emblem type feel, but it does have its own unique look to it, if you ask me. And finally, number 1 is Cat Quest, which is going to absolutely satisfy any itch for Zelda type action, and it has a forward momentum that makes it just work in a way that is difficult to describe. This is a pick it up and you're in the thick of it game. The game is generally simple, but it does actually give you some interesting possibilities in the form of some equipment customization, but generally it's just there to give you a certain type of gameplay, and it gives it to you the absolute best way it can. It's also got a lot of cat puns in it. The visuals are great, the momentum is great, it's just a great game and you have to play this one, okay? I think you'll enjoy it, so just try it. Couple of bonus games for you, including Pigeon Wings, sort of a plane-based, physics-based kind of side-scrolling puzzle-ish game. Tough to describe, but a fun one. And Snake Team Hydra, which is kind of like Demon's Rise, but more of a sci-fi game. What was your favorite game on mobile this month? Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like this video, please click like, and if you're not subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on GameRanks.